It's a twister! It's a twister!
I imagine right now you're feeling a bit like Dorothy, landing in Oz in a realm that just does not feel quite like home. I can see it in your eyes. You have the look of a man who does not accept what he sees, because he suspects everything his eyes present to him is a lie. Ironically, this is very close to the truth. Let me tell you why you're here. You're here because you know something. What you know, you cannot explain, but you can feel it. You have felt it your entire life, that something is wrong with this world, that has been presented to you with the full expectation that you accept it and never question it. You don't know completely what it is, but it's there, like a splinter in your mind driving you mad. It is this feeling that brought you here to me, to now, to a choice. Do you know what I'm talking about? Do you want to know what it is? It is the supernatural image and word of God. It is all around us right now, even in your very room where you are sitting at this moment. You can see it when you peer into the mirror at your own reflection, or when you take a photo of a friend. You can feel it when the sun shines, or when a wave in the sea crashes upon you. You can taste it when you bite into an apple, and see it when you tear open a fruit. You can feel it when you caress a woman, or when a woman caresses you. And you can see it upon the woman's body, the breasts, the buttocks, and eyes alike. It is there when you speak or when you take a breath. You can hear it when the great owl screeches, or see it written upon his face. You can see it coming when a whirlwind is nearly upon you, and hear it when the thunder rolls. And you can feel it when the wind blows. It is the world that exists beyond the veil. It must be perceived with the mind before the eye can see it. A world that no one ever informed you of, yet you know it's there. If you speak of it, others will say you're crazy, for you must believe what they believe. Like everyone else, you were born and introduced and convinced of a false reality, a false world, a prison world designed so that you would not see, hear, smell, taste, or touch the supernatural reality of the true world. They built a prison for your mind and a hell for your soul. And they pray to their gods that you will never wake up. Unfortunately, no one can be shown what the supernatural world is. You have to see it for yourself. This is your last chance. After this, there's no turning back. You hit the back button, the story ends. You wake up in your bed and believe whatever you believed before this moment. Or you continue watching and you cross beyond the veil. And I will show you what is behind the wizard's curtain. Remember, all I am offering you is the truth. Nothing more, nothing less. It is now time to choose. Go back now or continue beyond the veil. Welcome to the Supernatural Show. Today, we're going to show you some more of what is behind the wizard's curtain. Yes, when I made that video, I was serious in what I said. So today we're going to take a look at what I've called the dark arrival. The dark arrival, when the stars don't shine and the moon doesn't give its light. Possibly even the sun is blotted out. But no, I'm not talking about an eclipse, but yet I am talking about an eclipse. So we're going to be getting into all of that here in just a moment. My name is Daniel Alexander Cannon. This is the Supernatural Show, the show that is not for entertainment purposes. I'd like to welcome all of you guys. I can see you guys on Rumble, watching live on Rumble. I can see you guys watching live on YouTube, Twitch, and several other platforms as well live. So we are not going to transition today. We're going to stay here where everybody's here, and we're going to try to pick about one day a week where we don't have to transition. It depends on the subject matter. Now, this subject matter that I'm going to get into is very heavy duty because it's a giant magic trick. Another word for it, if you want to say it in Sanskrit or Hebrew or most of the other old languages of the world, it's a giant MAGA trick. A giant MAGA trick. MAGA means magic in every language that pre-existed, basically English. Some of you just don't know that or want to admit it to yourself. I've got Miss Kim here with us. You can see her over here, little blonde hair thing here, Miss Kim. And I've got Roxy here as well. Roxy, are you there?
Hello, everyone.
And so we're just going to talk about this, and we're also going to, while we're kind of going through a few slides, we're going to maybe try to do a little research, because what I'm going to do, let me describe the magic trick that they're planning on doing. You guys have known about it and heard rumors of it for a long time. You just didn't know the length that they're going to go to in order to deceive you. And not just you, but everyone. They're going to go to the extreme length of every magic trick they can pull off. Now, understand magic is technology, the use of technology. Most of your so called magicians that you see on stage doing magic tricks, it's based on deception, and it's also based on technology. You have to have both in order to have a good magic trick. And so we're going to be looking at what's behind the wizard's veil today. I appreciate all y'all guys for being here. And let's go ahead and share my screen so everybody can see. Got your comments on screen. Got moderators here. Super Dave is here in the house watching the things, making sure everybody behaves. Miss Kim's here. And when I say behave, I don't mean you have to agree. I just mean you have to act like an adult about it, the same way that I would act and I do act about it. You can disagree, and you can even state how you disagree. Just do it in a way as if we're trying to work something out. You understand? That way, none of the moderators will, ban you. So, here's the image that I put together. It shows a dark sky that has went dark, and you can't see the stars, you can't see the moon, and any light that is there is this Stranger Things kind of darkness that y'all guys are familiar with from that series, or maybe Batman, that kind of darkness where any light that is there is gloomy and doomy looking. They've got a major magic trick to pull off. And us doing this is likely not going to have any effect on what they're going to do or when they're going to do it. But what it is going to have an effect on is the people here will be more prepared and more aware about the things and the magic tricks and the sorcery that they may employ and that they will employ. In previous weeks, we've talked about the manipulation of sound and how sound can be manipulated. We've talked about the manipulation of sight and how it can be manipulated. We've talked about the manipulation of emotions and how they can be manipulated. And now we're going to talk about how the heavens can be manipulated. The image you're looking at, of course, shows a lie-in crafts. A lie-in crafts. Alien. A lie-in crafts. And or extraterrestrials, meaning extra land, an extra place, an unknown place. But in this case, we're talking about aliens. And this is, of course, a big city like New York City, and it will likely be, if not regional, it will likely be worldwide, or at least on the lowest level, probably in the areas that are currently dark in the world, because it's easiest in order to deploy the technologies that they need to employ to pull this off. Got a couple of little ad spots I'm going to do, but I'm going to do them a little bit later. You see, there's a few things you need to understand in order to grasp this. Do you remember a few weeks ago how we talked about how sound could be muted, like the headphones that you can buy, where all the sounds around you are blocked out. And the way they do that is by creating an exact opposite sound wave of the sound that is coming to your ear and playing that back to you at the same time as the sound. So you have this waveform, the sound coming into you, and they create the sound canceling headphones create the exact opposite at the same time, a flipped inverted frequency, and your ear hears nothing, no matter what's going on. Something similar can be done with light. You see, light can be canceled out, but there has to be, in order for it to be something that was regional, like maybe above a big city or a small country, or even bigger, maybe even worldwide, they've got to have a system. Let me see if I can pull up a system to give you an example of that, because that's part of what we're going to do in this is we're going to be looking to see if we can see signs of that Daniel has any clue what he's talking about, or is Daniel just a crazy guy? All right, so let's look at Starlink live map. Let's see if this is the one I want. Yeah, this is one of them. Okay. Don't know where you're at, but you're probably somewheres in this area. And forgive the ball. If you don't know what I'm talking about, that's for another time. But we've got an image here of currently all of the satellites in low Earth orbit from Starlink. Now, what they claim they're trying to do is give internet to everyone, especially poor countries in areas maybe that they just can't get it. It's not available. The technology's not been installed. Like over in Africa, these guys got to have some internet, right?
You ever seen them give anything away for free?
Exactly. They're not.
Unless they had ulterior motives.
Anytime they give you anything that's got a positive, there are multiple negatives that are hidden that you can't see. Just like your cell phone, just like a medication they'll give you. They'll say, well, it'll make your foot stop hurting, but it uh, might paralyze your legs. It might do this. It might do that. You hear the commercials on television. They say they got a nice jingle going, ding, bling, 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 and they're singing about this medication, and then they say could cause immediate death, heart stopping, your eyeball falling out your head, and everything you can think of. And they say it right there to you, but people still take it. But what I'm saying is there's always negatives, multiple layers of negatives that come with anything that they present to you that is positive. You understand that? So, what are the negatives for Starlink? Now, not just Starlink, because you have other systems out there as well, like this one. This one's called OneWeb, and this is all of their satellites that they have floating around. Don't ask me what the little man is there, I don't know. But they've got these all around the world. And then you have the Kuiper, I think it's called, that they're currently shooting up satellites as well. Okay. And I'm using this imagery because it's the imagery that's available. Okay. We've also got GPS satellites that are out there. Supposedly, GPS satellites are a little farther up. Is this a true representation? No, it's not. Really, not in any way, shape, or form. But it's what we got. And you've got all the military, all the different governments, and trust me, they all work together. Any country, any government, any leader that won't work with them will go bye bye. Can you think of a few that have went bye bye? I can. So, what are the negatives? What are they up to? What are they concealing behind the concept of, well, we just want to make sure everybody has access to internet? I hope you're with me. So, let's look at a couple of things, a couple of concepts. And we're going to try to verify and look just like we did just now. Look and verify what we're looking at. Okay. Now, if you're going to black out the sky or turn the sky into a, let's call it a television screen, tell a vision, because it's going to be telling a vision. It's going to be creating an alternate sky. Simple as that. You've got to have, of course, you got the us down here in the city skyline. You've got to have your obscuration layer. Obscuration, pronounce that probably wrong, but anyways, you've got to obscure the sky. And there's many ways to obscure the sky. You'd say, well, chemtrails. That may be one part of it. Or you may say, and I suspect it probably will be, but you may also think about Starlink. If they were all connected together and they were all projecting a, let's see, where did oh, right here. If they were all connected together and they're steadily launching more satellites all the time, this ain't enough. This is not enough. So you can see a Starlink train right there. They're continuously, every week, multiple new layers or groups of satellites are going up, not just from these guys, but from all of them. What are they getting ready to do? They're getting ready to fool us. They're getting ready to fool us. And it's going to be a good magic show. It's going to be the most impressive magic show you've ever been to. Let's read some of these little slides that I pulled together. Okay? And then we're going to see if we can verify any of these technologies and aspects of it to see if we can see any hints of that they're already doing this in maybe one form or another. Okay? So theoretically creating a full sky illusion that blocks the stars and moon while projecting a virtual alien invasion visible from the ground would require a combination of physical obs- uh, obfuscation, high altitude technology, and advanced projection or holography. Here's how it can be done in theory. Blanket the sky, obscuring natural light. Now, one thing you have to understand is that light, again, can be canceled. Light can be canceled. I'll give you the simple way, okay? If you have like uh, for instance, this TV screen right here that you're looking at, okay? in my office here, my little studio. If I made the whole screen completely bright white, just made the whole thing bright white, okay? And then I take my cell phone and I turn it on so it's white, and I place it in front of this television screen that is white. The screen on the cell phone will then appear to be black. This is a fact. It's a matter of that the light that is uh, how to put this in terms though that a fifth grader can understand sometimes. Let's just say it real simple. You can manipulate one light or frequency, because everything's frequency, in order to break the light that is being projected. Think about, give you just a simple example, like the pyramid with the light shining through it on Pink Floyd's album, right? Let's see. We'll pull that up. Um, let's see if I can find something a little bit more specific.
Well, and if you think about the fact of these virtual reality headsets and how realistic those things, I don't know who's put one on and who hasn't, but this is why you see people running into walls because you actually start to believe you're in it. This would
They
be the
would.
same theory, like putting on a set of virtual reality headsets for the whole city or town or state or country or planet.
See, light operates on wavelengths, and white light, when you combine all the wavelengths of all the different colors that are natural, you get white light. You get light. Okay, what we consider to be light, what our eyes believes to be light. You can alter that by superimposing another frequency that alters that light so that you no longer see it as light, you just see it as darkness. Trust me, this can be done, is being done, and will be done. Scripture, as y'all guys probably know, even talks about the fact that there will come a day when the stars will not give their light. How do you think that's going to play out? Have you ever wondered? I know you have, because I have. But now I understand it. They're going to break the light, basically. Okay? And they do that up at the satellite level. You would have to have all these satellites up here, like Starlink, and they would have to be producing the exact frequency as a blanket. And they're all tied together, and they even admit that the new satellites that are going up, let me show you, the new Starlink satellites have huge lasers on them, laser systems. And they say it's, oh, just so that they can communicate with each other. Really? So Starlink, lasers. So as you can see, they're giving you a little example here of how their Starlink satellites are creating a fabric. Creating a fabric. Now, let me show you this. This should, wow. Thank you, Father. Okay. Um, okay. Starlink launch
patch. And I just literally realized this. What this means. Okay, it's part of the white and the red horse out of Revelations. Starlink launch patch. Um, our time has come. These right here. Okay. These were on the rockets that they sent up right at the beginning of the planned demonic. Okay. Let me see if I can. I've shown the images before where they're actually on the rockets. It's like on the nose of the rocket, basically. And I'm not seeing it right here. Let me see if I click that. Come down here and hit see more. It's like on the nose of the rocket, like you see that nose there. Um, very much like this one. I don't think this is it, but I have all these symbols and symbolism on the rocket, giving hints to what the rocket is about and what it can do. Okay. Now let's look at this. These are the launch patches for the Starlink satellites that went up during the very beginning of the planned demonic. Okay, and they show a white horse and they show a red horse. Okay, and it was NROL 129. There we go. NROL 129. There it is. So there is the rocket with the symbolism on it. Okay. But what does this mean? Is this possibly tied to Revelations 6:1? And I saw a white horse. And it talks about I seen a red horse. And it says the white horse had a bow. So you think this kind of a bow. And in a way, you could say, yeah. But do you know what the definition of bow is when you transcribe it back into Greek, which is the language it was written in? Bow means the simplest of fabric, is what bow translates to. The simplest of fabric. So this rider of the white horse, something of great power, had a bow, the simplest of fabric. Now, I'm either mostly right or I'm a nut. You get to decide. So let me see if I can pull up, because this is an interactive research as we go.
Have you ever seen that sphere they've got in Vegas? The one that they can project all the images onto?
I haven't seen it in person, but I know they have the whole sky projected out and everything. They're doing this kind of projection. They put a veil or a bow above the heads of the people, and then they can project anything they want onto that veil. But what were you thinking about that?
Well, I actually know somebody that went to it, and they saw it from the outside and saw it from the inside. And they said that from the inside, and it may be, the way the seats are and the way everything is, that it's just mind blowing how realistic it looked from the inside. It was like you had just literally stepped into some kind of space movie or a whole different world.
Virtual reality. That is the magic trick. See, it's technology. It creates a virtual reality. That is what they are planning to do when it comes to the heavens above our heads, coming very soon.
Because there's a really creepy one that they have, and it looks like an eyeball, and it looks like a real eyeball that is bigger than any hotel or motel in Vegas.
Well, if you can find a link to something on it or whatever, we can take a look at it because that's what we're doing. Is kind of looking as we go. Now, let's see if it'll pull up what I just said here because I've got the Strong's Concordance here. Um, Here we go. Yeah. See, there's the definition of a bow. Okay. It is as the simplest fabric bow. Now I didn't do this. They did it. They put the white horse and the red horse on it. And it says that the white horse also had a crown. Do you see any crowns on this image? Right down here and right over here. Even one on the head. And it has a bow. The world is ruled by symbolism. But yet you are clueless to it if you cannot understand these things. Okay? The white horse also, because this is multifaceted, multi-layered, the white horse also represents the medical system because they wear white, they're pure. The scientists, they wear the white jackets, they're white, they're pure. They have authority, don't they? They talk the whole world into taking some of these. We have to remember, Roxy, that we're live everywhere.
That's private chat. Only you can see that.
Yeah. No, I mean, I'm not referring to what you're posting. I was referring to what we're saying, what I'm saying. I'm just reminding me and you. Okay.
Oh, yeah, I forgot. We're live on YouTube, aren't we? We got to be
We're
careful
live
here.
everywhere. So I got to watch myself. Let me, is that related? That link related?
Yeah, that's the eyeball. It's an
Uh,
article related to that eyeball. Here, I got a second one, which actually looks like an alien inside the dome trying to get out.
okay. Yeah.
And I mean, that's as big as a hotel
Can,
back there.
can you go inside of it?
Oh, yeah, it's an actual theater. The visual that you see on the outside, you see on the inside as well.
Really?
Um, yeah, you know who my best friend is. They went to Vegas for a conference last year, I think it was. So
Uh-huh.
they bought tickets there. And she said it was almost nauseating because you're sitting at such a high altitude in these like angled theater seats. And she said, but it was literally like you were immersed in the show.
Hey, let
I
me
think
ask you a question.
YouTube is the first one that done it.
Let me ask you a question, Roxy, based on previous shows we've done.
Hmm.
Why do you think they're showing the moon like this? Any guesses?
To perpetuate their lie.
Well, that's one. But what they're doing is they're showing you that the moon is a reflection. It's a holographic, basically a holographic reflection. It's not an actual physical object. That's what I would say, in my opinion, is why they're showing that there.
Click on that other link and look at that one. See, that's what it looks like on the inside. And she said that it was almost like, I mean, they can project anything in there. They were up in the upper seats up there, kind of on that angle.
So they got
And
angels and birds and butterflies and hawks and
I can't
everything
even
you can think
remember
of.
what show it was she said they went and seen, but it was evidently it's a little alarming because it seemed so real when you were in it from the visuals around you.
Roxy, I think maybe we've had this conversation before, what I'm getting ready to say, but there's been this vision, and I have stated it on this show before. There's been this vision that I have seen in a dream state, and I've had it 50 times in my life. The vision was I was inside of a building, and I come to the doorway, like to go outside, and I looked up. And when I looked up, it was an alien invasion. There were like a war in heaven going on, and there were all these insane colors, and I don't remember seeing any stars. It was just this alien invasion, and there were planes crashing, coming down. And I remember I had the dream one time, and it was what I would call a lucid dream, a vivid dream, where it was like it looked and felt real. And I've always wondered why I kept having that vision over and over and over in my life. And it just now hit me as to why. Because of this, what we're talking about, of what their plans to do are. Let me see if I can. What's going on with minifish? I heard somebody say something about minifish there. Hopefully, minifish is okay. Oracle of the West says he is okay, so that's good. Let me look for that link that you sent. Okay, here we go.
Yeah, that one looks a little freaky. It kind of looks like a robot trying to get out of the ball.
Okay, so this is it.
Yeah,
Okay, that kind of reminds me of the Borg Queen.
I think it was some kind of EDM concert they were having in
Yeah,
there.
yeah. Just the image. It's not the Borg Queen, if you know who the character I'm
Yeah.
referring to off of Star Trek, but that's just what struck me when I seen it. Certainly alien-like. Wonder what this video is.
Oh, I don't know. I didn't look into all of that. I was just looking at actual images on there.
Okay. Okay, and here's a video of.
The End of Genesis is what that one was called.
Imagine making $453,000 in a single month as an affiliate marketer with
$450,000 as an affiliate marketer. Yeah, right.
Yeah, right. At 1% commission.
So they literally got this in Vegas right now. They're literally showing you what they're going to do. They've got this dome created with projections on it. They're showing us what they're getting ready to do. They've got the technology. This is a demonstration of it right here.
Well, see,
Exactly.
that's what I thought. I thought this was too much like what we're talking about on the other stuff.
Yeah.
But Kim, nobody can see that one at least.
Here, let me mute the music so we don't need to hear that.
Yeah, Kim just put a comment up. That's a in studio comment. Nobody else can see it.
I have to find it. Oh,
Yeah, but that looks freaky, like it's peering out at us.
It'll see it, but you can hear it on
But yeah, they can create that dome around us with those Starlink satellites and literally project that in our face, and we could think the world was falling apart. And if you're not perceptive enough to pick up that that's what they're doing is projecting that dome around us in a fake reality, you'll think the apocalypse is coming.
Who was it's been talking about building a dome, a golden dome? Do
Yeah,
you really think he's going to build a dome, or do you think he's hinting at something else?
yeah,
I
he's
would
got a
say,
dome, all right. His buddy's got all them satellites up there.
yeah, and that's what they're going to do. Is exactly what we're talking about. Thank you so much for bringing that to my attention, um, because that's a very, very good example.
If you just search out the Las Vegas sphere and search images, you'll see all kind of things that they've projected on it. They've made it look like minions, just I mean about anything, and they kind of tailor it to whatever concert or event is happening. And I think one of the things that they had on there was like this nature animal kind of presentation. And to my understanding, that one felt like you were in the middle of the rainforest with the animals.
I'm sure that they're perfecting the technology so that it will be indiscernible with what's real. But that's why we're doing this, because this is not a show for entertainment purposes.
And if you
I'm
look at the
I'm
building
strictly
without the projection on it, it's just a big black ball.
hmm big black ball, huh?
Hang on, and I'll send you a link for that one. There's a New York Post.
Yeah, let's see it with nothing going.
This was drone footage. I don't know if it was right after construction completion or during. I'm on the fly here, so I'm looking. I didn't get to read the article.
Well, as long as it's got the image is the main thing. Okay.
There you go.
Oh, it's the simplest of fabric. Very good.
Yep. Looks like a
Let's get
big black mesh.
Yep. Let's get through the commercial here. I hope this commercial ain't as long as it looks. Come on. Nobody likes you anymore, Reba. You're a sellout. They give you the bad news.
I've just about figured out that anybody that's got any kind of fame is a
Come on, come
sellout.
on, come on. Yeah, pretty much. All right. So let's make that bigger.
And see, it looks like there's a
Let's close
barrier
the
or a
ad.
separation between the internal and the external.
These. So what you can see here is the fabric that I'm talking about. They don't have 100% coverage, just like the satellites are not joined together side by side, covering the whole sky. They have figured out how to mesh it together, like just like what you see right there. And even though there are voids, the projection is undiscernible.
Coincidentally, it is 366 feet tall.
366, yeah. What this is a symbolic representation of what I'm talking about, of what they're going to do. You did a you did what you do an awesome job of, Roxy, and that is bring this exactly to the table so that people can see it. All right, so let's go another question or so. So we talked about the to block the starlight. This will be done with the breaking of the light. Okay, you can start digging, and you'll find out that that is a thing that can be done, especially at nighttime. And then creating the simplest of fabric, the bow, just like is on the rocket that they shot up when this all started. And it has to do directly with, it's also tied to this and the people that took it. If you did, you better spend some time on your knees. All right, so let's look at a little bit more here. So, satellite mesh, a mesh like simple as the fabric, or swarm, orbital veil, thousands of synchronized low Earth orbit satellites like Starlink, but denser, and of course, they're watching them every day. Form a digital net across the sky. They use photo-absorbent materials or light-reflecting surfaces to reduce natural illumination from the moon and the stars. Think of this like a programmable moving ceiling, just like what we just looked at in Vegas. Artificial altitude, atmospheric screen, deploy high. These are like kind of like options of how maybe it could be done. Deploy high altitude drones, weather balloons, or uh, chemiluminescent aerosols like chemtrails in the stratosphere. So if they took on this day that's coming, maybe they got these really high altitude aircrafts that are spraying way high up, creating the mesh as part of this magic trick, or should we say MAGA trick. These could create a light diffusing cloud layer, blocking stars and projecting into the mist like a giant rear projection fog screens. Electromagnetic or plasma curtain, kind of like another option. Highly theoretical, it says use ionized plasma fields or directed EM electromagnetic energy to refract or absorb the light. That's the one that I'm saying this is going to be a major piece of it right here. Similar to auroras, but controlled. You see how auroras come twisting and weaving through the skies, and what we've seen during the right after the eclipse when the big spark came and people seen auroras across the entire world. There's your example of how it can happen in nature. What they do is they study, come to understand how that works, how much power they need, how much everything they need, and then they do it or going to do it. And I imagine that they have done this kind of stuff in localized experiments already, maybe war zones, who knows. But similar to auroras, but controlled, could mask celestial light via atmospheric ion manipulation. So let's look at that word, atmospheric ion manipulation. Let's look at that word.
Have you by chance ever seen any of the fans that you can buy that create a 3D hologram?
Say again. Lost you.
It looks like a fan. It's got like 4, 6, 8 blades on it, and you can buy these in small. When I worked for the linen company, they were a Chinese company, and they had connections over there, and I saw these things before they went on the mass market, and it's about the size of a stand-up oscillating fan. You can
Uh,
pre-program it with your phone, and it will
uh,
project any kind of 3D image you want. Like people, these shoe companies or Foot Locker or whatever, they buy them and put them in the corner and project the image of like a new shoe coming out. You can buy these sapsuckers for $60 to go in your house.
well, pull one up and send me a link. So, atmospheric ion manipulation. Atmospheric ion manipulation refers to techniques for creating, guiding, focusing, and separating ions in the atmosphere, typically at or near atmospheric pressure. This field has applications in diverse areas, including mass spectrometry, material science, and chemical synthesis. Let's look. Uh, let's take a look at the images and see what we see. See anything that makes sense right out the gate. You see, something you need to understand about light itself. Light is actually what's called a perturbation. It's not, light isn't like what they taught us growing up and all that. Light is a perturbation. It's not, meaning it's something that is, it's like a frequency. The light itself is not really moving, but what it's doing is it, because of the frequency that it's moving at, it creates the appearance of light. There's not an actual molecule or anything that's actually moving from one place to the other. It is a, like everything else, a frequency, a perturbation. Hopefully that makes sense. This image here is pretty good at kind of showing that. And so, because they understand things on such a higher level than we do, or have at least, and still do in a lot of areas, of course, because of our ignorance, we're easy to fool.
All right, here's a link for that. I'm pretty sure this looks like the one that we actually used at the linen company. It was sent from over there when they were first prototyping these things.
Okay?
But this is another concerning thing.
Did you send it yet?
Yeah, I put it in the private chat. It might have jumped up to the top. Hang on, I'll send it again. I'll copy and paste it here.
Hey guys.
We have been cut off from China's technology for so long of seeing what they had. I don't know why it's not sending it. It will not send it.
Send it in the chat thing, the other chat thing.
All right, hang on. I gotta open that up. But we are so far behind on the technology that China has versus what we realize they have because we've been cut off in trade wars for so long that we don't see the tech that they have and how far that our actual tech that's available to the public is. I worked for this Chinese linen company one time for about a year, and they had connections to manufacturing plants, and they would send like cool little gadgets and stuff over. This thing blowed my mind. When I first saw this, this was 2009, 2010. All right, let me go get the chat thing up. Hang on.
You got it. Everybody's waiting. You've got a whole bunch of people waiting.
I'm trying. It's not moving fast enough.
A whole bunch of people waiting on Roxy.
All right, it's in chat now. See if it'll let you pull it
Got
up.
a whole bunch of people. A whole bunch of people. A whole bunch of people waiting on Roxy. Okay, so here we have it here.
See, that is actually a piece of gauze, like fabric, that they're projecting a 3D image onto. And yes, sir, they're projecting a holographic image to a piece of gauze on this stuff. It literally looks like a black piece of gauze, like you would wrap a wound with. And they can do it on that, and then they have these, it literally looks like these little skinny fan blades. But see that? They use it for advertising. so that it doesn't take up much space. I've seen them project. I've seen them put a big one up on a video in like a high school gym, and it literally looked like a whale jumped into the floor and water splashed.
Okay, I remember seeing a video of something like that.
Those projections right there are done on a piece of screen that looks like cheesecloth, like black, thin cheesecloth.
I mean, the simplest of fabric.
Simplest of fabric. Looks like cheesecloth.
Okay.
They can be done on large or small scale.
And you never know when that one piece of research, like me making sure I understood what the words, because you would never think that the word bow in English translated back to Greek means the simplest of fabric, would you? The
No.
only thing that gives you any hint is like a bow tie, you know. But of course, it also means the bow, the mask that the people put on, it's bowed out in the front like a bow. Plus, if you go to create one of those masks from a sewing pattern, you have to actually create a literal bow and then cut it in the middle and then put it back together like that in order to cover your face. And you never want to cover your face, guys, if you haven't ever heard me say it before. That is a judgment mask. It's a death mask. The only time people's faces are covered throughout history is when they're getting ready to be put to death. They did it to Christ. They did it.
This,
They do it
okay,
to people who are going to be shot at the stake or they're going to be electrocuted. They cover the face. It's judgment time. Go ahead, Rox.
well, this mesh, now, this is the hard part to see or think about when you're looking at this. Yes, this stuff, and I think Jeremy made a comment kind of like pantyhose. The thickness of the fabric doesn't feel much thicker than like pantyhose or yoga pants as far as the weight of the fabric, but it's much less dense, but it's a grid pattern, and almost in between the grids, it has these little teeny tiny light sensors. It looks like a okay, in a restaurant, you know those mats that they put down that have the holes in them, like they put them behind the bar and at the cash registers. They're cushion mats, but they actually have holes in them.
Yeah.
That's what that fabric looks like when it's hanging up, and it's as thin as cheesecloth or a pair of yoga pants.
Yeah.
You can almost stick your finger in the roundness of the hole
Now,
because they can take these things and drape them. Have you seen the buildings in New York down there in Times Square where they have the 3D holograms on them? This is
yeah.
very similar to what they have there.
Well, see, here's the thing to understand, guys. Anything that you can do or that is done or can be done on Earth, here in our reality, can be duplicated and normally is duplicated in the heavens, as in heaven, so on Earth. So what I'm saying is that if you can take the simplest of fabric and project an alternate reality on it, like Chris said or Max said, and it actually fooled his wife that it was a projection. They had to tell him. But if you can do that here, it's also doable in the heavens. And that's what we're talking about, is how they're doing that, is to simulate a sky-sized projection
Yeah, I
over
sent you another
large
link that
areas
shows
or
you.
maybe even the whole world, because if you look at Starlink, it looks like they're going for the whole world.
I actually found a reference to the actual item. It's called an LED curtain. I sent you a link in chat.
LED curtain.
Yeah, that's what it's called. It's a full color video LED curtain transparent display LED grid screen for buildings. This is what they do on large scale, like where you see in New York, in Times Square, and these other places. It'll be like see it on the buildings there. There you go. All right, now scroll down just a hair.
And it's 3D.
It appears 3D, yes. Scroll down just a little bit on your page.
I'm still tripping out over that.
Oh no, honey, you should see the one with like animals jumping out of it. There you go. That's what it looks like. Scroll up, see the black thing?
This mesh.
Yes, that's it. Depending on the size of it, it can be as thin as cheesecloth or as thick as about an inch, inch and a half thick. But each one of those little round things in the center is a pixel lamp. It's rollable, it's moldable, and you can program it from a laptop to show you anything. I've actually played with one of those before, and it's mind blowing.
So obviously, versions of different types of this technology is out there.
Yeah, whatever technology you think that we have, China seems to have advanced 50 years ahead of us.
And whatever they've got, the hidden ones, the occult themselves, have got things that are just absolutely insane to blow your mind.
Yeah, I mean that I've seen some of those where it literally looks. See, it looks like he's coming outside the building. Look at it.
Many years ago, I went to Disneyland down in Florida and went into the to what was called the tree or something like that. And
Tree
they
of
had
life.
these, huh?
Tree of life.
Maybe that's what it was. Or but they had like bugs and all kinds of things. It was a grand illusion because they even had to go in and sit down in the dark, and you didn't know they had misters on the chair in front of you. And so when the bugs would spurt venom and stuff, they had little misters that would squirt you in the face with
Yeah, their
water.
Terminator ride was like that with the dude that was metal.
You know,
I never intend to set foot back on that place again.
me neither. Yeah,
Didn't know then what I know
I'm
now.
not
That's
sure
for
what that I
sure.
never went, but I did. So let's see what else we got. A holographic dome, sky dome, ground directed, use high altitude drones or satellites to emit coordinated lasers or photonic wave interference. Well, you reckon we'll find if we look up photonic wave interference into the atmosphere. Photonic wave, that is the manipulation of light, because again, light is a wave. It's a perturbation. It's a frequency wave. Why is my screen all tripped out here? What did I do? Mess it up.
I'm gonna do
I've
lock
got
up.
to. I've got to drop out and come back real quick. Give me just a second, guys.
Hey guys, I don't know. It's screen locked up. But yeah, I've seen some of that 3D technology.
Okay. All right. So let me share my screen again. So we all know that they've got high magic technology and they've got high sorcery. Photonic wave interference. I've got to look it up. It's going to drive me crazy if I don't. Photonic wave interference. Photonic wave interference describes how light waves interact, exhibiting phenomenon like constructive interference, amplifying the wave, and destructive interference, canceling the wave. You see, it's doable. It says this happens when multiple light sources or even a single light source interfering with itself overlap and interact. This interaction results in patterns of bright and dark bands, demonstrating the wave-like nature of light. Wave-like nature of light is a perturbation. Everything is the same as everything. It's all frequency. It's all literally this reality is basically observable by us because of these things. Let's see here. See, cancel each other out so you can cancel out the light. Now, if they canceled out the light at a higher level, so you couldn't see the stars, and then they projected from a lower level with the level of MAGA they have now, do you think they could fool a few people? Well, look at there.
Well, there's going to be multiple layers to their deception. Not only are they going to project this image,
Yeah.
they're going to flip the switch so that your electric doesn't work, your debit cards doesn't work, so you're truly going to believe it is the apocalypse.
And they're already rolling out with it. All the lights flickering around the world. Click, 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 click. I mean, look at this. I know I've got a video saved that I saved intentionally. I know most of y'all guys are aware of this. Not sure what that is, but let's maybe something crazy going on there. But let's look at. Pretty sure I have one saved here. Several of them, as a matter of fact. Yeah, several of them. You see, they're already playing with their magic. There is a way that lights can be caused to flash, fire to flicker, and it can be caused by the presence of an angel or a deity of some type that can cause this to happen naturally, or you might call it supernaturally. But then they're setting the stage. They're setting the stage literally. There's someone's house, inside their house, flickering, tripping out inside the laundry room.
My daughter has actually installed smart bulbs in my house, and the one in my kitchen does this. It drives me insane. There's no reason for it to be doing that.
Well, there is a reason, because it was designed to do it. You see, you have to understand that they transitioned us all to these LEDs. So every light source that we now have available to us are affected and can be affected by EMF waves. The only light source that we had access to, and still have a few of those bulbs around, are the incandescent. They can't be influenced by EMF waves. The LEDs, the big tube ones, what are those called? The big tube ones, the white
Fluorescent.
tubes, fluorescent. Those, I've done a show on it. Those, the LEDs, the fluorescent, the halogens, all those were created intentionally to get ready for this. They're getting ready to start the show, boys and girls. I'm not playing. I'm not trying to scare you. Matter of fact, what I'm doing is educating you so that you're not terrified when all this deception happens. And it's coming. They're already doing this. How far do you think we are away from the big show? This is just the intro. Think of it like a movie, like Stranger Things, when the lights just started flashing and nobody knew what it was about. And they were like, the lights are flashing. What's this about? And then a little bit later into the plot, the upside down world happens where everything goes dark.
And the only way to communicate from the dark world to this one was she hung Christmas tree lights for her child to communicate with her.
Yep. Mm-hmm. And like I said, there is, in that scenario that they were showing, it was a deity or a source of life that was beyond the veil that was able to communicate. And I could almost relate this to the angels, seeing them and the different things that they've shown me that they can do and stuff as well. Of course, everybody's heard of Project Blue Beam, but this photonic wave interference, that's it. That's the money. Here's another example: electroluminescence canopy. Satellites could form a giant flexible screen like OLED in orbit, which lights up with alien invasion visuals. Needs extremely high resolution and energy output, but possible in theory.
Well, I
Correct.
actually know that in Antarctica, they are monitoring the neutrinos in the air, which give them a power electricity source up in the air that we don't think about when we're thinking about the power they'll need for this. They can pull neutrinos right out of the air. They're
Yeah,
going to use
there
Tesla's technology against
there
us.
is no question that they have all the electricity they need. Trump's already said it. He said, talking about things that were to come, we've got all the electricity that we're going to need. They know how to pull the electricity right out of the air. They're already doing it. They just ain't told us about it. We've seen hints of it. We know a little bit. They've got it nailed down. So it ain't a matter of, well, they'd have to have so much power in order to do that, Daniel. They can't. Oh, yes, they can, and they will, and you watch. Mark my
And if
words.
anybody's seen that new show Paradise on Hulu, they literally, there was supposed to be an extinction level event coming, and they go on that show and they dig a cave that'll hold 25,000 people. They've got whole suburban neighborhoods built in there, and
Thank
it
you.
has a false sky in the top of it to simulate night and day, sunshine, clouds, rain. They can simulate the whole environment with inside that cave.
Yeah, and there's a reason why the LED light bulbs bother your eyes is because they're creating a false light. LED light is not a real light. It's false light, and it's manipulatable. Hint, as we're seeing, it's not real light. Yeah, you need to replay the show if you got started late. One hip chick. Hope you're doing well. Well, guys, I think I have shown you probably enough. You know, they're also going to do things like it says here. You know, we're going to start hearing the trumpets. We're going to start hearing thunderous sounds and things coming from the heavens and the skies to go along with this. They're setting the stage. We're going to see pieces coming together, and then they're going to pull the switch. Boom, like in the wizard and the Wizard of Oz in his behind his veil, and he's back there pulling all the switches. They've got that one over there there's a couple of main ones there. Can't wait to pull them. Can't wait to
Okay.
pull them.
All right. Well,
So here's
we're
give me 60 seconds. Here's Hawkins looking at the mathematical equation of the name Hawkins, okay, and what it matches. Because I'm not going to explain how it all works, but this is one of the systems they use in order to do things. Hawkins, well, it matches. Of course, Hawkins is the name of the city in Stranger Things. It matches the Matrix. It matches Storm. It matches Blackout. It matches Apollon. And, anyways, I won't bore y'all guys. Y'all guys can look up this kind of stuff for yourself if you like. But like Stranger Things, it matches calm before the storm. Where have we heard that at? This may be the calm before the storm. What kind of storm, sir? Oh, you'll see. The storm has many bands to it, just like a hurricane, and we've only been through a couple. This is where you need to be ready the most. This is where you need to be ready the most, and that's why I do what I do. I've been put here on this mission because I've already died several times. Father kept me here to do this. I'm here to bring a service to y'all guys, to show you what I've been shown, to make sure that you're aware and that you know this deception and these kind of things are coming. I love you guys. Thank you, Roxy, for being here today.
most welcome.
Thank all of you guys because we have a massive crowd here today.
I know. We need to update our regulars on what's going on with everything. Like we got some new sponsors coming on board. I had a lumber delivery for the podcast studio today. I'm so excited.
Yeah. And we also have, let me show real quick, and then we're going to beat feet on out of here. Where's it at?
For anybody that's here today that wasn't the other day, I am actually building a podcast studio to do it out of full time. All right, I got a call from her at school. I got to answer this.
Okay, go ahead. I'm going to get out of here in a second. I was just going to show these guys a couple of things real quick. And that is this. Got to try to keep the lights on and give y'all guys something that's pretty neat. Got some new t-shirts. Okay. No, t-shirts aren't going to save the world. It's a way that you can uh, contribute something to us and get something and put out a message. Let me give you an example of the message. Here's one right here. As soon as it works. This shirt is called the Cosmic Choir. As you can see, there's all the stars, aka angels, up above in the sky. And then you've got a light orb down below, which is an angel that has pierced the veil and is present in front of you in this reality. And it says the Cosmic Choir singing creation together. And I just created that one just the other day. And I'll show you one more, and there's a number of other ones there, but you can go look at them. I ain't always get time holding you here for ads and t-shirts. I will show this one to you real quick too, as soon as it loads. This one, it says the Supernatural Show, and as you can see on the right shoulder or arm sleeve, it has the Supernatural Show logo, and it says, "Choose your mastery. Where your mind goes, your life flows." Okay. And as y'all guys know, we have links below for Dr. Squatch's soap. Have links below for Jackery solar equipment. Maybe you need some kind of a power backup. And we also have a link below now for Blue Eddy, which is Jackery's competition. And do your research, make your own decisions. But Blue Eddy it's nice stuff. It is some really, really nice stuff. So, and there's all kinds of other links down there. And you're always welcome to contribute to this work directly as well. It's not easy doing what I do, but I do it for y'all guys. So that's why sometimes I ask for y'all guys to help me back. I love you. Our Father in heaven loves you. And we will be seeing you again. Today is Monday, so you'll see me again on Wednesday. My tooth's doing good. So far, so good. And but you'll see me on Wednesday and Friday. Hopefully Shannon will be able to do a show on Thursday. And
If not, I'm going to do one night this week with some update on the podcast studio. I dropped the Throne. There's a link in the comments, the Throne link. That's just a gift registry for the podcast studio. I got some videos. We're coming along with the construction, and keep an eye on it and see what we're doing.
Nice.
Appliances go in tonight, baby.
Her living room is going to be her podcast studio. Literally, the house itself is being. She's more interested in renting this place to have a giant podcast studio than she is a place to live. I already know this. She ain't said it, but I know it.
I got 2 houses, so I'm going to turn one into a podcast studio and let my grown children and grandchildren live in the other one.
Next door.
Next door. That way Grandma's got them right across the yard.
Right. Run over and spank them every once in a while just for the fun of it.
They're standing on the other side of the door right now. Some wonderful music teacher has decided to send my grandson home with one of them plastic flutes that they call recorders. I told him, I said, I better not hear that thing till I get off of air.
Oh, Lord. Okay. All right, guys. We love you. Thank you for being here. Make sure if you're not subscribed or following or do whatever, take care of that. If you don't mind, you know, maybe it helps somehow. Hit the thumbs up and please make some kind of a comment if you haven't. At least leave something. Uh, it's little contributions you can make to potentially help us continue to grow. We've had a really huge crowd today, and I'm
And share the
glad
show
y'all
with
got to
somebody
hear.
who hasn't seen us. If you have a
Yeah.
like-minded friend who is awake, share the show with them.
Don't you think there's a few people should hear what I've shown today? Don't you think? You need the help. You can't help them all. I know this. But there's some people, you know who they are. Get this in front of them so that way, even if they don't completely get it, they will have some pre knowledge of this deception that's coming. Because if they don't know nothing about this and this technology that's available, and this thing hits tomorrow, whoo, I love you. See you Wednesday, Friday.